Hi everyone and welcome to my video. So the theme for this drawing is isolation. I entered an art contest recently and this is short drawing piece I decided to hang up. As you can as, as you can see I can see on the side by the block and the view of a confused girl. So the the point of this isolation is to tell like the separation between mindsets of the child and the adults. So when you're a kid and you just look at adults, your parents or something like that, and you have no idea what's happening. And this is basically what I try to represent. It's basically like staring into the void of something you don't know. It's like a difference between your thinking as a kid and as you grow up. So your thinking changes and you slowly begin to understand. But as a child, you always live in your own world, like separate from everybody. So you just have no idea what's going on around you, and your thinking and the thinking process is always so different from everyone else. You sort of always feel lonely by yourself whenever at home or something else. So when you try to talk to your parents and things like that and try to reason with them, they don't really understand you, and nor do you really understand them. So this is what I try to incorporate in this illustration. The art contest is due on the 17th of this month, so I will leave a link in the description below if you want to join me as well. So yeah, so this is the piece that I quite enjoyed. I used a contrast of gray and light. So light is like your own separate world, and the dark is a place of the unknown, or separated from you, so isolating you with the darkness. I actually before drawing this illustration or sketching it, I actually went online and have a look at it. Have a look at several illustrations done by other people, and a lot of them are really typical and things like that. So I want to do something different. Most of them have like a single character inside a forest, isolated using black and white, which is something I also did as well. But they have like only yourself and someone else, which is fine for illustration, for isolation as a theme. But I really want to do something different. Like most of them have like a single person stuck in somewhere, and like a tiny person. But most so I figure a lot of people will hand up a similar art style for the contest set by Jazza, which the contest are entering. So I want to do something really different as a standout. So this is something I decided on. So in the middle, I have a girl holding a book, reading it, so symbolizing in her own world, and I have a bunch of simple shapes around her, like stars, rectangle, cube, things like that, like simple shapes. And then as it span outwards, it span larger imaginations, you get like fairies, apples, islands, lollies, and things like that, and ghosts, which I thought was all fantasy based. So inside of mine, unrealistic ideals, and outside of it is like the two adults and things like that arguing, not as fun as their own mind, which you realize as you slowly grow up, and you have like a bunch of coins and like gambling and stuff like that. So a much dark world than you originally realized. I really like the line art I did for the people. It makes them like broken things that are like separated, unrealistic coming from the girl's perspective. So like a bunch of cracks on their faces. I thought I did a really good job of it. And there's no things that like confusing and trapping yourself. After I finished the illustration, I merged all the layers together, try to fix the lightings a bit. So I made the darker parts a bit darker and lighter parts a bit lighter. I found one of the most difficult parts when you're drawing the girl in the middle and in the holding the book. I found her hair really hard to draw. It has been a very long while since I've done a more of a serious illustration, so this piece was really difficult for me to handle. The shoes I had some hard time designing. Honestly though, I had no idea why I focused on so much time on the shoe and the book. But I originally wanted to come up with a name for the book and things like that, which was the name of the piece of the artwork, but I decided not to really do it. Or maybe I would afterwards, who knows. So yeah, this is my illustration for art contest, and thank you for watching.